Commissioner Adam Silver. Jay-Z is bumping. You know that means the Nets are ready.
With the 22nd pick, the Brooklyn Nets select Dariq Whitehead from Duke University.
MVP of the 20...
Going with Brooklyn Nets. Welcome to the family, my man.
You ready to go to work, young fella?
Yo, it's your boy AJ. I'm back with another video. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any breaking Nets news. We are about to break down Dariq Whitehead, first round pick by the Brooklyn Nets in 2023. So if you like content like this, again, hit that like button. And also follow us on Instagram at NetsKingdom1. And check out Cypher. Cypher dropped a new article on Dariq Whitehead at netskingdom.net. Make sure you check out the article for more information on Dariq. So we're going to break down Dariq a little bit before we start on his life. He was born in Newark, New Jersey. He attended Monteverde Academy in Monteverde, Florida. You guys know Monteverde Academy has so many stars. I mean, he actually played with Dayron when he went to school in Florida. Whitehead won the Naismith Prep Player of the Year award his senior year in 2022. He was selected to play in the 2022 McDonald's All-American Boys Game. Whitehead was named the McDonald's All-American MVP, where he had 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. Now, he was a consensus 5-star recruit and one of the top players in 2022, and he decided to choose Duke over the offers he got for college basketball. Now we're going to get to the high school where he had Jones, I think he had a foot surgery, a Jones fracture, if I'm not mistaken. He had a Jones fracture surgery in high school. That was his first foot injury. And then we got later into Duke. He averaged 8.3 points, 2.4 rebounds, and 1 assist on 42% from the field. He shot 42% from 3 and 79, about almost 80% from the foul line, and while being an active defender. Now, at Duke, he was limited. I know he talked about in interviews, he was coming off surgery. He said it wasn't his best year at Duke because, again, the Duke, they were trying to implement him off the bench and implement him basically slowly because he was coming off injury, and he was very underwhelming, I would say, his numbers at Duke because of the injury. Now, Dariq Whitehead is 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan, weighing 217 pounds. Again, he shot an incredible 43% from 3 in college, but then he was hampered from the Jones fracture injury in high school. But then recently, when we drafted him, he had another surgery recently after college going into the draft. That's why his stock was so low. He was projected to be around a top 10 pick. If he didn't get hurt, he would have been a top 10 pick. So there we go into that. Now let's get into the film. Let's talk about Dariq Whitehead. Now, the number one strength of Dariq Whitehead is his shooting. He is a sniper. We look at the film. He got a beautiful follow-through jumper, pull-up jumper. One of the best catch-and-shoot shooters in the draft. Was an outstanding almost 44% from 3 on about 4 attempts per game. Now, you look at his form. He has a high release, a quick trigger, really good body control to hit shots while moving laterally with his pull-up. Like, he has a great balance when he shoots. It's a very quick release, and he's nearly not bothered by high closeouts. Like, guys close out on him, and he gets into this zone where he just doesn't see the closeout defender, and he can just snipe from 3. It's really incredible how good of a shooter he is. He just does a good job squaring his body whenever he pulls up, and you see on this pass right here, he catches it in the corner. Now, the teammates are not going to always get the ball in your shooting pocket. Then this is the markings of a good shooter, because he has the good body control to adjust, keep his body square towards the rim while moving, which is really, really impressive. That's the good movement shooters in the NBA can do this. JJ Redick, Kyle Korver, Seth Curry, etc. You know, keeping your body square and moving at the same time, but having that follow through high release, just keeping all your mechanics well. Great shooting mechanic from Dariq Whitehead. Now, but he's just not a three-point specialist. He has a midi. Now, he shot 40% on mid-range jumpers on low volume, about 20%, which is not terrible. It's a part of his game. So he just needs to sharpen it. He needs to sharpen that part of his game, his midi. The good part is he has a midi, so the midi is there, but he just needs to sharpen it. The fact that he has that in his arsenal is a good sign, you know, because he'd rather take the 3, but the midi is probably a way that he needs to improve on in the NBA. Now we get to the third level of his strength is his ISO scoring. Now he has an okay bag. Now in high school is where his ISO scoring was a lot better. He had an athletic burst to separate and get to the rim. But majority of his time at Duke, he did a lot of step back threes, crossover hesitation moves. You see in the film, he does not need a lot of space to get his shot off, which is good. Like he needs a little bit of inch to get his shot off, and that's it. Because majority of his time when he catches the ball, he wants to just pull up. He'll take a dribble hesitation, make the defender think he's gonna drive, but he wants to pull up. He kind of lacks a true bag, which I think his handle is one of his weaknesses, which we'll talk about later in the video, but that is one of his weaknesses. He doesn't really have a true bag. But second strength is his let's get to the second strength. His defensive potential is one of his strengths. So we got the shooting out the way. He's a true pure movement jump shooter. Now his second strength is his defensive potential. Now at 6'7", I think he has a 6'11" wingspan. He had flashes at Duke, really good defensive impact versus wings and guards. Now his length is a positive factor. Again, 6'11" wingspan allows him to challenge shots. He actually is pretty quick laterally. I mean, watching some film at Duke, he can move his feet, and he's really good at staying with the wings. He can guard bigger wings. You know, he's 215. He's strong enough to wall up, use his chest. He's not bad at the point of attack, you know. And then, again, shout out to the article at Nets Kingdom. He posted the 13th best defensive box plus minus and the 14th best defensive rating in the ACC division as an active defender. So that's good. He can be a good defender. You know, that's a really positive part of about his game that people sleep on. You know, people just think he's a great shooter, but he has the potential to be a great defender. Now, it's inconsistent at times, which he needs to work on, but if he's consistent, he works at it. And again, this is if he recovered from his injury, then he has a makings to be a great 3-and-D wing in the NBA. Now, he's never been a really good athlete. You know, we're talking about, let's get into the weaknesses here. He's never really been good at separating, self-creation, you know. Finishing at the rim. Now, this is his number one weakness. Finishing at the rim, I'm going to add handle to that because he needs to work on his dribble right now. He's more of a catch-and-shoot movement shooter, not really versatile. Now, he's a poor finisher. He shot 43.8% in the half court at the rim. He struggles converting related separation off the dribble, attacking mismatches. Now, he had 0 self-creation dunks in a half court at Duke, and even in high school, pre-injury. You know, now in high school, he had some type of athleticism. It was probably average to mid-level athleticism because you look at the dunks and you look at the film, he has really good athleticism, decent at in high school. But then he hurt his foot. So when he went to Duke, it really hurt his self-creation. You know, he just became more jumper reliant. You know, even pre-injury, he wasn't an incredible athlete, but now that he's had 2-foot surgeries, it's really pushed him back to more of like a jump shooter, catch off the dribble movement shooter. You know, that's what he turned into at Duke. Now, I think in high school, you combine the mid-level athlete with the elite shooting that he had, it looked incredible because it was just the combination of his athleticism and his shooting in high school was incredible. That's why he was a top 5 recruit, projected to be a lottery, but then the injuries came and it just kind of hurt his game, in my opinion. Now, but he's really not good at finishing at the rim. He's very grounded player below the rim at Duke. Then I spoke about his handle before. He's very out of control on his drives, not very crafty. Sometimes when he puts the ball on the floor, I think he doesn't have a clear direction or good react dribble moves. Again, his handle, his athleticism, his finishing at the rim are all big weaknesses for Dariq Whitehead. Very jumper reliant, you know. Now we're praying that if he does get his athleticism back after the injury, we're praying that he will return to his high school, get that separation, return to his high school form. That's what the best case scenario for the Nets is. If that happens, I think he has a really high upside, all-star potential. He can be basically like a super version of Joe Harris. You know, the shooting of Joe Harris But he has athleticism, has more tools in his game, a better defender. He's just a more tooled Joe Harris, in my opinion. If he gets to his highest ceiling, but if he doesn't regain athleticism from the injury, then I think he just kind of stays at this ground level catch and shoot kind of guy, like a Joe Harris or not Corver type flow, but kind of more tooled a little bit. But I think if that's his lowest floor, I think it's more of like just a catch and shoot shooter. But best case scenario, we're praying for the best case scenario with the Nets. Let me know your thoughts about Dariq Whitehead. Again, we drafted him after Noah Clowney at 22. Let me know your thoughts. Do you guys are worried about the injury? Are you worried about his foot? Are you worried about him? Again, he's not going to play in Summer League this year. What are your thoughts on the Nets drafting Dariq Whitehead? Let me know your thoughts. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. It's your boy AJ. I'm out.